How did she teach you how to prevent infection?
It's called buaba. The men don't use condoms, so we put cotton wool and tissue paper inside our bodies so nothing could pass through.
What about taking of drugs? I think that should be better than this.
No, it's not, because we do many men in a day, so we can't be taking drugs for all.
Many?
Yes, host Helen, sometimes 10 to 15 a day.
Oh my goodness.
2 days later I was fine. Me and my burger talk about how I will be making my payment. I started meeting up with men and was paying her weekly. Gift my friend on the other hand started before I got better, but she was always crying after meeting with anyone. My experience with my burger men made me strong, and Precious was there to guide us. I was so desperate to live the connection house, so I was obedient, doing everything that my burger asked me to do. Days turn into weeks and weeks turn into months. We were still there.
When one done paying her debt, will she let the person go?
Yes. But it was not that easy, because any time you wrong her she adds money to it. We had so many plans with some other girls on how to escape, but they were all failing. Sometimes some of the girls out of fear go back to confess to our burger. The punishment was always out of this world. We had to stop for some months, but I needed to be free. Years later, I started connecting with all the people that Mommy Timmy brought. Since we're all from the same place, it will be easy for us to escape because we all speak same language. That was a good start. People were joining the connection house monthly. Some of us get pregnant, some died, and some gets hurt badly by the men, because the men was always unfair to us. Sometimes they bite us or even give us a cut. They say it makes them happy seeing our blood.
So who get you treated? Your burger?
No, she don't care. We are always treated by Precious because she was a nurse back in Nigeria, so that's how she makes extra money, from wounded girls.
A nurse? So why did she travel?
Mummy Timmy promised her a better job in France too, and they pay higher. She lied to all of us. Precious was true paying our burger. She moved out of the connection house, get a place for herself and started looking for a job, but she was still coming to the connection house to see us and still to make money. Life was not easy outside the connection house because everything is new to her in the outside world. On one faithful day, someone was celebrating her birthday. We were all happy, dancing and eating, when we started hearing gunshots everywhere at the connection house. My big sister Precious hid me under the table behind the wall. People were looking for where to run to, but were getting hit by the bullet. Blood was everywhere. Our burger as us to ran, but ran to where? I saw Gift running too, and I called her not to run but to lie down on the floor. 5 minutes after the shooting, the policemen came in and asked every one of us out. The people that got hurt were put in a different Hilux, the dead ones too were different, and we that was not shot anywhere, they took us to the prison.
How many dead people?
So many. We were 76 female and 38 male, apart from our burger and her men.
What is the work of the men working for your burger?
They are her workers too. We can't disobey her. When we do, they beat the hell out of us. Our life means nothing to them. They sleep with us anytime they want. They monitor us. They make sure we satisfied their customers and can't escape.
Oh my goodness. Please, so what now happened in the prison?
Inside the prison, we became 51 female that was not hurt. They took all our things and gave us wrappers, nightwears and a slippers. That's what everyone is putting on, so it's more like a uniform. I and my sisters was so lucky to still be together unharmed. The next day they call us out to a room, took our blood samples, and a call came in and our burger was asked to go.
Just like that?
Yes. Host Helen, we were all crying and holding her not to leave us here, but surprisingly, she took off our hands and left. They sent us back to the prison, but the prison was very beautiful and clean, not like what Precious told us. On getting back to the prison, we saw them on sad faces and we asked what happened. They told us a lady just died. Precious can now speak the language a bit, so she was looking for who to communicate with. They feed us 2 times daily. Sometimes the warder just come to call someone's name and that will be the end. They never come back to the prison. Host Helen, please let's bring in Precious, my big sister. I'm getting too emotional.
Oh sorry dear, it's all over now. You are welcome, Ma. Please, your name and everything you want through, please.
Good day to you too. My name is Precious. So, while in the prison with my sisters, of course we are sisters now, no longer friends.
Yes, you guys have been through a lot together.
I was always helping with sick people, so warder asked if I'm a nurse. I said yes. 1 month after that discussion I was called upon, to the medical center. The place was so beautiful, nothing like what I have seen in my country. The doctor put me through of what I will be doing. gave me a place to stay. I could not go back to the main prison. I always have sleepless nights of how my sisters are doing. I always send people to greet my sisters for me and to tell them I'm fine. I was to be taking care of pregnant women. I give them drugs every day and food. It was same routine. It was becoming boring. I went to talk to few female nurses I have become close to. That why are we all just in same space? I can't help you even if the crowd is mush and you can't do the same to me too. But nobody have answers, and for that. So many questions in my head without answers. Why are they not treated badly? Why so many pregnant women? Why not deport us back to our country? A black woman is working with me. I find out she has been there for 3 years. I went to ask her some of the questions in my head. She told me my questions will put me into trouble. So one day I was asked to take some of the pregnant women to a different place, change their clothes, put something into a cup of juice and make sure they drink it. I was curious to know why and where they are taking them to, but nobody gave me an answer. After 1 week they did not come back to the hospital. I started getting close to the old staff to get information, but nobody was ready.
But why?
They were afraid of their lives.
Is it that bad?
Yes. Host Helen, they are not wicked to us, but you can't go against their rules and don't get killed. People are planned to escape, just about talking it, lost their lives. They were all shot, died.
Oh, this terrible.
After a long time of not seeing my sisters, I saw Gift. She has been really sick. They brought her to the hospital. I make sure I go to see her every day after doing my job. We talked. She told me that unknown men have been sleeping with them, that they always drug their food at night to make them sleep deep, that many of them have been getting pregnant without being with anyone in the prison. I asked her how they find out. She said they always run few people test at the end of the month. Some will not come back, others will. So few of them notice early that they were pregnant and told us before they came for the monthly test. So they told us. After the test they never came back to us. They all made plans and asked some of them not to have the dinner. They were awakened. They saw everything that happened. After what she told me, I became more angry in my spirit. I know something was not right. I went to other pregnant women ward and I saw many of the ones in my prison cells that I know before I was taken to the hospital. After weeks of no answer, I was praying one day when they asked me to join the car taking the pregnant women, that the black woman was sick. I did what I was asked to do. On getting there at an auction party, the pregnant women were being auctioned to the highest bidder. Oh, I cried. That day, I was so restless, I could not sleep at night.
Pregnant women auction? For what?
Host Helen, that's what I saw. Going back to my post at the hospital the next because the auction party took all night, I told myself that I will not add anything to their food to see what will happen. When it was time for food, I gave them without adding anything to it.
As a nurse, don't you know the drugs that you are adding to their food?
No, it's liquid in bottle without a name. I have asked but nobody gave me any answer. After 2 hours of not adding anything, all the women became seriously sick. I became afraid. They called on the doctors. There were commotions everywhere. The doctors were running up and down trying to save the women. The doctor I was assigned to work with asked me if I added the liquids to their food and I said no. I forgot. He gave me a thunder slap and I was arrested, locked up for 3 days without food or water. They brought me out on the 3rd day and 2 nurses was asked to care for me. One of them was someone Mummy Timmy brought to. She told me that she will be set free soon. When she told me what she was doing for the warden, for her freedom, I cried. I started working again. The black woman I was working with called me and told me it's time. When I asked her what she meant, she said she was going to rest, gave me her brother's number. If I ever get out, I should tell him exactly everything that she passed through. I became scared. That was when I asked her to tell me everything happening there. She told me that we are in the military prisons, that the government did not know about us here. We use for business, that the pregnant women gave birth to those children and then died and they take the children, and if are lucky to be alive they you free, but in no time without care you still die. I asked her who impregnate the women. She said they have men doing that, and she told me to do anything to leave here.
God please save your children.
I was taking care of the pregnant women when saw some military men carrying the black woman corpse. She was dead. They gave me 1 minute to look at her and say my goodbyes and they took her away. I ran to the nurse that cared for me to beg her that I and my sisters will like to leave here. Then she took me to the senior office to tell him about us. The man asked of sex in return. I was fine with it. On the first night that I got there, it was a party. You will not believe such things can be happening. Even if I lived in Connection House, this was worse. Oh. I became a toy to everyone there. I couldn't complain. I needed my freedom. 5 days later, she left. My sisters was asked to join because it was just few women and so many men. Gift was still sick and it got the men so angry. I have to be begging them with the little of their language I could speak. On the third time Gift died before us. It was one of the saddest day of my life, and this man was still laughing, wanting to still have a test of how a dead woman feels. I hold myself form not hitting the bottle on them. They took her corpse out, continue like nothing happens. I and Sharon cried our eyes out, an only child of her mother gone. Just like that.
That was so sad.
I girl that joined us in doing that was killed because she was in pains. I couldn't do what the men wants. She was hit with a bottle and that was it. She bleed till death. That continued for 3 months and it was time to go. They asked us to talk to more people to replace us before we could leave, and I did that on the day of our leaving. A mother and child was brought in and I begged to go with the child, because I know was is unfair there. It was freedom at last.
So where is the child now?
He is still with me. I got information that the mum died.
What about her family, that she gave you their contact?
No one aspected the boy. They said they all warned her not go, but friends deceived her. He's now my son.
So how do you feel now?
I'm getting better. We're still healing. Talking about it is one of the healing process.
What is your last word for the youth?
Take life easy. It's a step at a time. Don't be in a rush to make money. Do something with yourself. Human trafficking is real.